Now, in 10 years' time, I wonder or in 22 years' time, I wonder will we be talking about the Europa League final of 2021? I don't think it's quite the same thing. It is intriguing in its own way tonight, though, because like for United, in a weird way, it's like they're in the Champions League. There's nothing as such to play for except for just the old school winning some European silverware. It is their first final with Solskjaer. The semi-final was the barrier. It feels to me like there could be a kind of a shackles off approach a little bit tonight.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Like the Europa League, in fairness, it is a long marathon of a competition to get to a final. A million games between the start and now for them. But like only for Man United, I would be saying, it's nothing terrible to say it, but it is. It's the Europa League. It's like most teams don't want to qualify for it, as terrible as this to say, because there's nothing fine. I think it's not about money, obviously, but I think it might cost teams, unless they get to the final and win it, it costs teams to compete in it. So, I think a lot of chairman and chief executives hope they don't qualify, or that was the case a number of years ago. But still, as a Man United fan, you're in a final now. Of course you want to win it. We won't be talking about it in 10 years' time. No, we won't be talking about it on an anniversary like we just talked about them win the Champions League, but I'll be watching it and we want them to win it. And it's sort of more of what it sets down, it gets a thing out of the way. You just said Solskjaer's first final for Man United. If they win it, it's not something that's going to drag on psychologically or be questioned about in interviews next year, the year after. Well, he hasn't won a trophy at Man United, or he hasn't won a final at Man United. It's that out of the way, and it allows them to progress and, one notch ticked on the ladder, and he can get a bit of breathing space to build and go on again next season. If he loses tonight, it's just that mentality of winning things everywhere. It's habit. It breeds confidence. It makes things easier. Trophies, winning, everything just escalates from there. So definitely want to win the game. But from that point of view, it's important for me. It's not just if we win, great. If we lose, great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. In terms of the team, then it's fascinating because we're at the last game of the season, and there's still a question here over what team gets named, because I think, and it kind of all comes down to Pogba, because in bigger games he has gone with the Fred and McTominay kind of central partnership that shores things up a little bit. Then, so the question is, do you do that and make room for Pogba and sacrifice one of the front three, or do you drop Pogba altogether, or do you play him in midfield and go kind of in a more attacking formation? And the fact that we don't know it, I think, says a lot about where United still are, in that they've definitely made improvements, but they're not quite there yet.
No, it's the whole Pogba. It's the same conundrum we've had since they signed them,
Years, yeah.
Yeah, it's what is his best position? Where can you play him? In a final against a good Villareal team, I wouldn't play him in the centre. I would play him. I think he's too good to leave out. He was world class coming in from the left for Juventus. He didn't play in the centre. He played, I think, left of a 4-3-3. That's so fluid. He could end up anywhere. I'd still play him. I would sacrifice. Like, you're not sacrificing a striker for him. He gets goals. He sets up goals. He dominates games in certain games and from certain positions. I just think he leaves it too open. He's too free playing in that centre position. He can wander. He dribbles. He can end up anywhere, which is great and exciting to watch, but totally disjoints to the team defensively if they lose the ball, and it leaves massive gaps. So that's why he plays Fred and McTominay. Understandable, especially in a final against a good team. I can see him playing Pogba. Again, also, what's the Pogba situation? We don't know. Is he going to be there next season? What's his contract situation? What sort of demeanour does he have? The feeling Solskjaer has, is he going to be here and we're going to have him another season or two? Well, then you want to play him in this. You want to keep him, play him in the final. He's meant to be one of their star players. So not playing him in the final, to me, would say he's going to be leaving in the summer. So that side of it to work out. But all things being equal, I would play him out from the left, coming in, sacrifice someone else. Not sacrifice. He's very good. And that'd be the way I'd look at it.
Is there any question
about centre half and who's playing at the back? That's our problem as well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's no Harry Maguire, and I think if anybody's ever kind of improved for not playing over the last few weeks, I think Maguire is definitely one of those. But like, what I mean is that people see in his absence what he's actually I think it's more Boy's fault than Maguire's, though. No, but just like, is there any question then about, like someone like Greenwood, who's coming through and is next big thing. You can be next big thing for years and suddenly be 25, you know?
Yeah.
And he did come back. He did kind of take his medicine a bit this year and came back. And his form has been really, really good lately. And he's scoring a lot of goals. And then suddenly it kind of comes to the final. And it's like, well, do you know what? We have to play Rashford. Cavani is a big player. You have to play him on the big stage. He's the guy we need for the final, all his experience. And it's like, well, we need Pogba because we can't play him in his position. We have to play him somewhere else. And suddenly you're just this guy, you know, it's like, when am I going to get my chance? I've done everything I can.
That's just football.
Is,
you know, squads, you're going to play some, you're not going to play some. He's probably the younger, least experienced of them. He's very good, great potential, and he has delivered at times this season. That's football, and as a professional, you just have to get used to that. You're going to be picked some days, you know, go out next, if he doesn't play in this final, go out next season, play better all season. Make sure you're picked next year in the massive games. You know, there's an argument for him playing ahead of Rashford. I think Rashford has been firing on all cylinders lately. Cavani, for me, definitely has to start. I'm not just jumping on his bandwagon, but I was singing his praises all the way forever. He was my favourite centre forward, and he still is. I can't believe how good he still is at his age and how fit and strong he still looks. So, I would be more, you know, not the Pogba Greenwood, be more Pogba or Greenwood Rashford for me. You know, if I was going to go for one, I still think he'd play Rashford and Cavani though. Just for experience, but Greenwood, great option if he is coming on. He changes games. He does make a difference. He could start. Of course, he could start. We don't know. Obviously, we don't know. But I would pick the other three ahead of him for this one.
Yeah, fair enough. It's going to be a fun game. I think there's still nothing like a Man United game like this to get the pulses racing. Be a United fan or be you absolutely the biggest Villareal fan of all time. All of a sudden, as we all start watching.